Okay, so this is a warning. In this podcast, as I talk about, my experience with Star Wars and stuff, I do say a lot of spoilers. So, if you hadn't seen the Star Wars movies and you're actually interested in watching them, unless you want to hear spoilers, keep going if you don't mind the spoilers. But if you hadn't watched the movies yet and you want to watch them and you don't want to get spoilers, then I suggest you turn around and watch the movies, right quick. I mean, even though it's freaking 9 movies, 11 movies if you count the Star Wars stories, but. Anyways, that's a lot of movies. So, I mean, bottom line, spoilers ahead. All right, let's go. Hell yeah, what's going on? It's your boy Asiago back at it again on 3am Thoughts. And boy, happy freaking May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Oh, hell yeah, buddy. God, I'm so excited because this is the first time I actually legit got excited for. The first time in a long while that I've actually got legit excited for Star Wars Day. The last time I was this excited was when I first got into Star Wars. Now, let me tell you about that. There's a story about my experience, with the Star Wars franchise, how I got into it and stuff. So you know what? Let's begin. So many years ago, growing up, my dad always tried to raise me in a certain way. Because the area where we lived at the time, he didn't want me to get beaten up, for liking certain things. He sheltered me from a lot of things, not necessarily the things that you would actually shelter a kid from, but for starters, like I said in a couple I said this in a couple podcasts ago, that from a very young age, I was 8 years old, barely going on, barely in the freaking second grade when he told me that Santa Claus didn't exist and stuff. And for the longest time, I was essentially the only elementary school kid, that wasn't excited for Santa, on the during Christmas time. And it's stuff like that, little things, because again, the area we lived in, it's we didn't live in the ghetto part of the freaking Pasadena area, but we lived in a pretty rough patch, I used to get bullied all the time. Remember, this was the 2000s, so just having glasses meant you're gonna get bullied. So of course I got bullied for that, but also too because I was just kind of a weird kid. Still, I'm still a weird kid now, but again, this is a different time, a different area, and I didn't know how to fight back then. But anyways, so he didn't he would always kind of keep certain things away. He never showed Star Wars to me. He never he told me about the whole Santa Claus thing. And I even when even the very rare times, as a kid when we would actually go to church. I'm guessing he got afraid that the church kids might start beating me up for going to kids' church at 8 years old. So then again at 8 years old, he started forcing me to go to the freaking adult services, and I was just freaking confused as hell. I'm like, huh? What is this? Who's this fat guy? On the stage. What the hell is he talking about? It's stuff like that. So anyways, so again, Star Wars. Growing up, I remember seeing him have the Star Wars movies on DVD. I don't think he had the original trilogy. I think he had I think he bought the prequel trilogy as they came out. And actually, I think he might have seen the original trilogy, back in the 80s whenever they actually came out, but he never actually owned them on VHS or DVD or whatnot. The only ones he actually did own were the prequel trilogy, but again, no, he never showed those to me, and I've looked at them, and he would always say, "Nah, you don't want to get into that kind of stuff. That stuff's for nerds. Yeah, you don't want to be a nerd, do you?" And he would kind of like antagonize, that it's sort of like stereotypical nerd thing, because the whole thing was, you didn't want to be freaking like, again, his whole goal was to make sure that I wouldn't get beaten up and stuff, or I wouldn't get made fun of, or I wouldn't be just that weird kid. Well, I mean, I was still that weird kid, but for different reasons. So, but definitely not for the reason that he was thinking about. So, again, he withheld a lot of stuff from me. I'm pretty sure he would have introduced me to anime, like as a young kid, if he wasn't so scared of me freaking, if he wasn't afraid for my own freaking safety. Although he freaking watched Dragon Ball Z all day, so I mean there's that. But anyways, so he would always paint this picture antagonizing, the basic geek, saying that, well, it's bad enough you already have glasses, what if you start liking, this and that, yeah, the kids are gonna start beating you up, yeah, don't like that stuff. I mean, he didn't say it that bluntly, but basically, like, that's kind of like how he brought me up. And for the longest time, I refused to get into certain things like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, anime, Star Wars, and all that stuff, because I was like, that stuff's for geeks and all that stuff. That's not for me. I'm definitely not a geek. Oh my god, I was such a freaking geek back then. I'm still a geek now, but at least I'm a cool geek. but anyways. Oh, freaking damn, man. So let's fast forward time a bit. So here we go. Back, forward in time, but back in time at the same time. It's my junior year in high school. So it's 2015. And the new movie, Star Wars. Let's see, what was it called? The Force Awakens. Yeah, Episode 7. Force Awakens. I remember seeing the trailer come out. I'm like, man, they're making another Star Wars movie. Don't they already have like a billion movies that go back, like going backwards for some reason? And again, like, not only did my dad paint this antagonizing picture of someone who likes Star Wars, but he also freaking. But he also like confused me by saying, yeah, the movies go backwards for some reason. Yeah, like, you watch the new movies before you watch the old movies and stuff. I mean, at the time, I didn't know what a prequel was, and I didn't know that you could do that with movies. But anyway, so I was just so damn confused. All I knew was that there was a whole lot of Star Wars movies already, and again, not following that kind of stuff at the time. I had no idea that the prequel trilogy was made in the 2000s and not going into the 2010s. I just thought they released a new Star Wars movie every year, like they do with freaking Marvel and stuff. And that's a very ironic thing. Like, shoot, like, he kept all this other stuff away from me. But when it came to the freaking Marvel stuff, the MCU, like when that first started and stuff like that, or the freaking Pixar movies and all, and all these little things that you would associate with a geek or a kid or something like that. He let me consume all that media, but he wouldn't let me consume other media. I don't know. He was a weird guy. At least it's not like that no more. But anyways. So back to what I was saying. 2015. I remember the trailer drop for Force Awakens, and my first thought was, man, another Star Wars movie. Don't we already have enough of these? But then a few trailers later, I really started looking at it, and I'm like, well, I look around the school, I look at people's reactions, and they're like, man, Star Wars is a pretty, it seems, like a pretty cool. It seems to be really cool with everyone, and I remember, I know a lot of the references and stuff, because just like with JoJo, freaking Star Wars, it's referenced everywhere. There's so many damn references and all kinds of and all sorts of media, from songs to movies to books, TV shows, whatever. And I would see other references, so I knew what a lightsaber was. I knew what lightsaber duels were. I knew about freaking Darth Maul's damn cool sword there. And I knew about Yoda. I knew about Chewbacca. I knew about the whole man. What was I thinking of? Luke, I am your father. And then come to realize that he didn't say Luke. He just said, no, I am your father. But anyways, again, I knew all these references. I knew all these little jokes that that the community would throw around to to freaking TV and stuff. So I was like, okay, it's got all these freaking memes and jokes and stuff. It must not be that bad, right? And seeing all these freaking people, getting excited for the movie, and shoot, even the cool kids, in school, were getting thrilled about it. So I'm like, all right, I might give the Star Wars a try, but I'm not gonna bother watching the other 10 billion movies and just watch the new one here. But then my buddy Caleb, when he heard about my plan, he was like, no, you're watching all the movies. No, you can't just watch. You can't just watch. This one without watching all the other ones first. And then I was like, why? But he said, no, this is episode 7. You gotta watch the other freaking 6 first. And I'm like, huh? But that's too long. That's too many movies. And shoot. So again, so for quite a while, I avoided the whole Star Wars thing, because I was like, man, I just want to watch this new one to see if I can even like the series. And in retrospect, looking back now, I probably could have just watched that one movie and definitely would have determined if I actually like the franchise or not. But anyways, so here we go. So what actually made me start watching the movies and getting into the movies? Well, sadly, it wasn't a hot geek girl that got me into it. No, I had a dream about that recently, not back then, but recently, man. I was like, okay, let me sidetrack here, man. So I had this dream the other night where this hot geek girl, man, she had like a freaking anime shirt on. She had these Marvel tattoos, and we're all watching freaking Star Wars together. It was so lit. And again, in the dream, I was 17. She was also like 17, somewhere around there. And it was kind of like in the dream, I traveled back in time. But this girl that I was looking at didn't exist in real life. I don't remember seeing her. And we're just having a good time, freaking playing Super Smash Brothers and all that. Shoot. We all know that won't be a reality, but anyways, back to the original topic. So it wasn't a cute Greek girl that got me into Star Wars, sadly. No, it was Caleb. And so what happened was that I forgot what exactly happened. Let's see. I think. Oh yeah. So I think it was Caleb's birthday. So I went over to his place. For the first time. This was my first time coming over to to his place. To hang out with him. To celebrate his birthday with him and stuff. And it was all good. And then. And then then he had this idea. Hey, now that we're here, and now that I got all these movies here, why don't you just, you spend the night, and then we can watch all these movies? And I thought, dude, we're like 17, like, okay, so it's one thing for 17-year-old girls to sleep over with each other, but I don't see 17-year-old guys, having sleepovers or whatever. Let's see. I still kind of find it weird, but whatever. I after a while, I decided, what, why not? Because in what other circumstance am I ever gonna watch these movies? And plus, he had the entire 6-film collection at the time. So, what, let's just get this over with, because I know he's not gonna stop, persisting on this. So I thought, okay, fine, okay, let's freaking do it. Let's do it. And then I said, what? Let's start with the ones that came out in the 70s and 80s. And he said, no, sure. Those movies came out first, but we're watching the ones that came out in the 2000s first, because that's the chronological order. And I'm like, really? But I already know that Darth Vader is Luke's father and stuff. But he was like, I don't care. You need to get the context. And so I was like, okay. Let's go ahead and do this. And so he puts on the Phantom Menace, and I started off kind of boring, actually. That's the bad thing. When you're watching Star Wars, like, yes, especially if you're introducing Star Wars to to a newbie friend, or even if to your kids in the future, there's a question. What order do you watch the Star Wars saga in? Do you show them the original trilogy first, or do you show them the prequel trilogy first? Well, nowadays, and definitely far into the future, you're gonna also have to incorporate the new trilogy, because that's part of the saga now. Now we have a 9-film saga. So which films do you show first? Well, obviously, I don't think you would show the sequels first. Although you could show somebody just the sequels, and that's another thing I've noticed, is that although they're all part of one big story, you can watch the 3 separate trilogies, alone, and they're kind of like their own thing. It's kind of cool and weird like that. But anyways, so what order would you actually watch the movies in? You can go the chronological way and go, okay, we're watching the ones that came out in the 2000s first, episodes 1 to 3. Then we're watching the ones that came out in the 70s and 80s, 4 to 6, and then we're watching the ones that came out in the 2010s, which would be 7 to 9. I mean, hell, you could even throw in freaking Solo and Rogue One, but at the time those movies didn't exist. So, at the time when I was first watching the Star Wars movies, those 2 movies didn't exist yet, so we didn't incorporate those. But anyways. So starting off with Phantom Menace, I thought it was kind of boring because, literally, the movie excites you. It starts with a dun dun dun, and then you see the freaking text scroll. So I read it. I thought, okay, it sounds interesting. Like a little intergalactic political drama here. Okay, Jedi. I saw the term Jedi Knights, and I was like, okay, let's see what this Queen Amidala looks like, and. Shoot, but unfortunately though, it just after that exciting opening, it just kind of I had a very slow start, freaking okay. So here's the funny thing I've noticed with Star Wars movies. Freaking, you look at Empire Strikes Back. After the exciting text scroll, it takes you straight into the Battle of Hoth. In freaking episode 4, it takes you straight into the freaking battle, into the battle, from that ship from Rogue One, and and the the Empire. And then you get to freaking episode 8, and then you got not the First Order, the rebels. The rebels are fleeing away from the First Order because they found their hideout. Or you got all these exciting openings to almost all the Star Wars movies. Then you have Phantom Menace, which literally it pans into this intergalactic freaking council, freaking political council sphere or something. It's been a while since I watched the movie. Phantom Menace isn't one of the movies I watch very often. Although I'm not saying it's a bad movie, I'm just saying that it started off with a very kind of slow start, But anyways, but watching that movie on, so I was kind of bored, but then, when the lightsaber duels came out, and I was like, hey, this is pretty damn cool, so that young guy is Obi-Wan Kenobi. And so I thought Obi-Wan Kenobi was supposed to be this old guy, but then he explained to me, Obi-Wan Kenobi is the old guy, but this takes place, years before that movie. So of course he's gonna be young in this one. And I was like, okay, where's Darth Vader at? Where does he play in? He points to the kid, the kid known as Anakin Skywalker, and I was like, huh? That's Darth Vader? That can't be Darth Vader. And he says, hey, the amount of years between episode 1 and episode 4, that's a lot of years. That's a lot of years for a kid to grow up. And I'm like, so it takes that long for him to finally become Darth Vader? Jesus Christ, man. God, so I couldn't take the kid seriously as Darth Vader because he was going like yippee and stuff like that. Freaking this is pod racing, and I'm like, this is the guy that says, Luke, I am your father. Again, I know he doesn't say Luke, but still, that's what I thought at the time. So I thought, this kid here, this happy-go-lucky kid, this is the guy that's gonna be a freaking menace to the universe. Jesus, mommy, menace to the galaxy, but you know what I mean. Anyways, so it was kind of a weird movie. It's seeing how he had a cute crush on the on Queen Amidala. I was like, hey, that's okay. Okay, it's kind of cute there. I mean, he's a little kid and he finds this older girl attractive. Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, Natalie Portman is pretty attractive. I mean, shoot, if I say so myself. But anyways. So I see Obi-Wan. He takes him under his wing. Begins to train him. Darth Maul appears out of nowhere, and then and all this freaking drama is going on. And by the end of it, I was like, okay, that was a pretty slow start, but maybe they get better with each film. And then he shows me what is it called? Attack of the Clones? I think it's called Attack of the Clones. I keep on getting it mixed up with the name of this series, the Clone Wars. So I think the second one is called Attack of the Clones, not the Clone Wars. But anyways, and actually, on a side note, I remember seeing a couple of episodes of Clone Wars whenever it would come on Cartoon Network. But I actually hadn't seen the full series. Certainly not in order. But now that I have Disney Plus, I can watch The Mandalorian and I can watch the Clone Wars in its entirety, and then pretend that I'm watching it on Cartoon Network because at the time it wasn't owned by Disney. But anyways, so we're over here watching Attack of the Clones. Much more exciting movie. I had a much more exciting opening. So and that scene in the Coliseum where you have all these like these Jedi Knights with lightsabers. You got Queen Amidala in there, and they're fighting all these freaking aliens and droids and stuff. Man, it was pretty damn cool. I mean, okay, so here's the thing with the prequel trilogy. There's a heavy, and I mean a heavy amount of CGI in them. I mean, of course, when it comes to a Star Wars movie, like even the older ones, they didn't exactly have CGI, but they used a lot of special effects, to bring you in to this, fantasy world, this fantasy galaxy. But the thing is that in the 2000s, they're like, oh, we got computers now, so it should be easier for us to to try to bring these characters into this world that we're trying to build. That it kind of did, but a lot of times though the actors would look so out of place, literally a lot of the effects, especially present in freaking episode 3, it just looks like it looks like you have real life actors in a PS2 game, a really good looking PS2 game, but a video game nonetheless. Wow. But anyways though, I suspended my disbelief and I said, you know what, just watch it, just pretend you don't notice it, and well, surprisingly that worked. And hey, again, it was pretty damn exciting, seeing freaking Mace Windu, Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan, freaking Natalie Portman, they're all fighting these aliens in the Coliseum, and you got all the freaking clones and stuff, you got Yoda, freaking fighting in the mix too. Oh my god. And then I started really noticing freaking how Emperor Palpatine, well, actually I don't think it was Emperor yet, but still, Senator Palpatine, he was over here, trying to lure Anakin to the dark side. So I'm like, oh, okay, so this is how he starts becoming Darth Vader. But I would be much more amazed in the next movie, man. Freaking The Revenge of the Sith. Even to this day, even after watching all the Star Wars movies, including the Star Wars stories, freaking Revenge of the Sith is my favorite Star Wars movie. Like, my god. And certainly, it certainly wouldn't have been without the context of all the other movies. But man, Revenge of the Sith, you really see Anakin become become the Darth Vader. You really see him turn from you see the conflict, in his eyes and in his heart. You see, you feel that inner conflict, that's going on inside him, and then he's he's kind of like Spider-Man, in a scene where Spider-Man's trying to keep the train from crashing, or in the newer Spider-Man movie, Homecoming, where freaking Spider-Man, he's over here trying to keep the two halves of that gigantic boat together by trying to hold him with his webs as hard as he can. And in that sense, you got Anakin Skywalker here trying to hold on to both the morality and the teachings that he had as a Jedi Knight, but at the same time, freaking you have Senator Palpatine. He's luring him into the dark side. He's trying to take him under his wing. He's trying to take him away from Obi-Wan. So instead of becoming a freaking Jedi Master, which he never did become, he would become a Sith Lord. And oh my God, like the way it played out, it was so cool, man. Like, oh, in that scene, that freaking scene where freaking Senator Palpatine becomes like how he would look like in the later movies. Man, like his face turned all ugly and stuff. Freaking he revealed his electrical lightning, absolute power. Oh my God. Oh, it was such a fun ride. It was a fun experience. And the final battle between Obi-Wan and freaking Anakin. Actually, I should probably put a spoiler alert in front of the beginning of this podcast, because I'm revealing a lot of key stuff here. But anyways, damn, shoot. So you'll be the final battle. The last chance, Obi-Wan's last chance to somehow redeem Anakin Skywalker, but it's really too late, because Skywalker here, man, he's already changed his entire mind. He's already turned away from the Jedi ways. He sees the Jedi as evil. His mind has been twisted. He wants to become a Sith Lord, and he does become a Sith Lord, because after losing with both his arms, both his legs, the freaking Obi-Wan Kenobi, because he cuts him off on Mustafar. Man, he has genuine hate in his heart. And he's like, I hate you. Don't forget to give my lightsaber to my son when he's old enough. He didn't say that last part, but it would have made more sense if he did. Well, kind of honestly, but God damn, man, I love this movie, man. I love this movie. And General Grievous. Let me tell you about General Grievous, man. Now, that's a cool freaking villain. Again, he looked straight up like he was in a video game. But again, that was kind of the appeal, because he had the forearms, he had the 4 lightsabers going on. Freaking, he was fighting in all these crazy ways. Then you have Obi-Wan. Oh, I hit my mic. Anyway, so you have Obi-Wan here, freaking, he's riding at that big dinosaur thing. He's cutting off every single one of his arms off. Freaking cuts his head off. Doing all this crazy stuff. Oh, and Yoda. Speaking of jumping around, freaking Yoda, man. It makes absolutely no sense when you start watching the older movies. But man, freaking Yoda, he was jumping around, freaking attacking Palpatine. When it was revealed that he was that he was a Sith, man. Ooh. It looks so cool, but then you see Yoda in the later movies, and I'm like, huh? This is the dude that was freaking jumping around everywhere? Oh, damn, man. God. Anyways, it was just an excitingly fun ride. God. And watching it till the very end of the prequel trilogy, very end of Revenge of the Sith, Episode 3. Freaking, over here, Palpatine, is trying to fix him up, trying to give him some robotic arms or robotic legs. He gives him the suit, has all these robots, working on him, trying to heal him as much as possible. And then, after doing all they could, the final touch, they give him the freaking helmet. And once the helmet, comes on, you start hearing the oh my God, it's so surreal, because I'm like, man, finally, now we can start seeing, now we can see some real action, now that Darth Vader is finally here. That little yippy little kid is now the villain that I've been waiting for. Oh, yeah, so, man, God, I'm so excited. And I really wish that Rogue One would have been out, when we were watching all these movies. Because, man, I would have been even more excited for Darth Vader by the end of that movie. Gee whiz. Seeing him, fight the way he did, using the Force. He was in a dark room and he freaking lit his lightsaber and started killing all those fools. Man, that was so freaking cool. But then you go into the next movie, he just freaking, it was just an old man fight between him and Obi-Wan, but more on that in this next segment here. But anyways, shoot, Man, that was so cool. And let me tell you what, the freaking prequel trilogy, it's full of nothing but memes. It is pure a meme gold mine. Like, my god. Like, even if you aren't necessarily a fan of Star Wars, like, there's so many memes that come from the prequel trilogy. Like, god, like, do it. And the freaking, where the part where he kills all the younglings. Like, god, man. And at the end of freaking Revenge of the Sith, man, freaking he has this anguish in his heart because he had no idea what happened to Padme. Then he realizes that he actually killed her. Thankfully, after she gave birth to Luke and Leia, and oh my god! And I'm like, oh man, he not only is his heart hurt, but man, like, oh, his mind's been twisted, his heart hurts, and now he just has this bitter rage inside of him. Now, he's got, not only does he have the look, not only does he have the freaking backstory, but now he has the emotions. Now he's become this full-fledged three-dimensional villain. Oh, it's so damn awesome. Man. So in this next segment, we're gonna go on to the original trilogy. Man, ain't that a real fun ride? Ooh, let's get on with it. Alright, so here we go, back in the second segment. So, anyways, we just got out of the prequel trilogy, and now we're moving on into the original trilogy. So, freaking Anakin Skywalker just became freaking Darth Vader. So now, now we can really see, how things go down in the movies I've been waiting for. So it's episode 4. It starts off, and then because obviously freaking with the last movie being made in 2005 and this next movie being made in 1977, even with some of the digital glow ups, you could still obviously tell that it's an older movie. Oh, I just hit my desk. Anyways, for me, again, experiencing these movies for the first time in this specific order, it really, it was really weird. It was really weird, that this movie, despite it being so much freaking older, it's painfully obvious that it's older. They come after this other movie, this entire trilogy that had nothing but CGI and stuff like that. Now we're going on to this other movie, which again, painfully obvious that it's older. You got all these practical effects. You can tell that a lot of the ships they're using, were like little models and stuff. Again, how the hell were they supposed to do that? CGI wasn't a thing back then, and freaking. And the lasers, they're you can tell that they're painted on the film and stuff. It's stuff like that. It was very weird, at first. But then after a few minutes, my disbelief suspended, and I just I went with it, because I'm like, okay. So again, it's obvious that these movies are older. They're gonna look older. Oh, okay, there's nothing you can do about it. Just roll with it. My God. Just seeing the first scene with Darth Vader, as he caught Princess Leia, telling her where asking her or demanding from her, where the rebel base was, and and they're having the argument, and then she freaking gets she gets the plans to the Death Star. And the plans to the Death Star, and finding out where the weakness is, puts in an R2D2 and C3PO. They go on to Tatooine and they meet Luke Skywalker. Man, so I obviously knew, from a lot of Star Wars references before that. Okay, so this is Luke Skywalker. This is the guy that everybody talks about. The Skywalkers in general are what everybody talks about. You got Anakin Skywalker, and now I obviously know why. Everyone talks about him a lot because he's the guy that turns into Darth Vader. He's Luke's father. And so then you have Luke, the hero of the original trilogy. The guy everybody lifts up all the time. And so, and he's the one, the save the galaxy, from the evil empire. So I'm seeing this guy, he's a freaking farm boy, kind of whiny, freaking so yeah, I found it kind of hilarious how freaking I'm supposed to believe this dude, is supposed to be the savior of the galaxy. Then he's then when his uncle tells him to do something, he's like, Oh, but I was gonna meet up with the guys at the Kazasi station. They get some power converters. He's some whiny little kid. And I'm like, huh? But then again, the menacing Darth Vader. In his first movie, he was a freaking little boy going, "Yippee! This is pod racing." So, okay, so I thought, okay, if I can accept that, I mean, okay, well, I can accept this, So and then so then he meets up with Obi-Wan, and man, so after seeing Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan, the younger version, and then seeing this older dude, freaking Alec Guinness, I think that's his name, freaking play the older guy, I'm like, wow. Okay, so this is definitely a surreal moment. Freaking like, so obviously a lot of time has passed. Seeing that freaking, so not only are Luke and Leia, like. Or not only have they freaking grown, but damn, Obi-Wan got freaking old. Cause man, freaking like literally in the last movie, he was as young as can be. Then freaking you move on to episode 4, and oh my god, this dude's a freaking boomer now. My god, this dude is old. He's all white furred out. He's got all these wrinkles and stuff. My god, he really does look like a freaking old teacher. But anyways, so and again, after coming back from that scene where where after he defeats Anakin, and it takes a sword, and then seeing him in the next movie pass it on to Luke, like I was like, oh wow. Okay, he's literally passing the torch. This is pretty damn cool. But then I found it kind of weird how he said, well, your father told me to give you this when you were old enough. But again, when the last time they talked to each other, he said, I hate you. And he was like, you were my brother, Anakin. I loved you. And nowhere in there did he say, oh, I hate you. Give my lightsaber to my son when he's old enough. My God. Okay, I'm going to need to drink some water here. Okay. Okay, so sorry, I had a little Zeke moment. I'll explain what a Zeke moment is later. But anyways, so back episode 4. So I seeing freaking what's his name, Luke Skywalker, training with the lightsaber, trying to learning how to use the Force, training with the Force, wearing that weird helmet thing that covers his eyes, and trying to deflect the laser beams coming out of that floating sphere, with his lightsaber. It looked all pretty cool. And then you got Han Solo and Chewie freaking coming in, starting the ruckus in the cantina, man, and they bring out the Millennium Falcon, man, shoot, now that was freaking awesome. And then seeing, later in the movie, it's like seeing Darth Vader blow up his daughter's home planet. My God, okay, so again, very obviously that it wasn't CGI, because this is 1977, and even with glow-ups from the modern day, there's only so much that they can do. But still, did it still look cool, man? Wow, and you can still feel or at least I still felt the impact of of an entire planet blowing up. Freaking, this my homegirl's planet, he blew it all up. Freaking Alderaan, man, freaking, now she has no home, now she's got no family, and it really displayed the power of the Death Star. It's the size of a small moon, but it ain't no moon, and they can freaking destroy an entire freaking sucker planet. Oh my God. That's definitely a big threat to the galaxy, because as you may know how galaxies are, they have a lot of planets, and particularly in the galaxy of Star Wars, seemingly it's like every planet has life on it. So having this device that can blow up an entire planet at will, that is pretty damn scary to an entire galaxy full of life-filled planets with many different life forms. But anyways, he's flexing the Death Star, And and Leia over here, she's devastated, man. So, but again, she's still captured, so she really can't do anything. She's got no weapons. She's all chained up and stuff, in that little prison, man. But for freaking Hans, Chewie, Obi-Wan, and Luke, they see that message, that Leia put in R2D2, freaking and so R2D2 and C3PO, they join along for the ride, and they all go on a mission to save the save Princess Leia, because again she says, Obi-Wan, you're my only hope, and that, that's really why, that's the real reason why Obi-Wan kind of joined in. But actually, now I'm thinking about it, it's been a while since I watched the movies, but again, now I'm thinking about it. How the hell did Leia know who Obi-Wan was? like during the prequel trilogy, it wasn't until the very end, tail end of it, that she was a part of it. But again, she was a baby, and how would she know who Obi-Wan is? And then you move on, and even watching Rogue One, and then moving on to freaking Episode 4, and really Rogue One is just like a very long opener for Episode 4, because literally Episode 4 starts seconds after Rogue One, and nowhere in there does it mention her relationship with Obi-Wan, or maybe it's explained in the fourth movie, and I just forgot about it. But anyways, God, man, so. Again, so save me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. So they all freaking go. So they all freaking go. To the to the Death Star. Well, yeah, to the Death Star. Trying to find Princess Leia. Well, actually, I don't think she was at the Death Star. She was definitely somewhere. Actually, I think it was the Death Star. Yeah, it was the Death Star. Freaking because it wasn't just a weapon. It was a space station. So freaking so they all go in. They all save her. And it's all fine and dandy. But hey, shoot, and then at the very end, I was when I saw that it was at the last few, it was the last 30 minutes of the movie. I was like, okay, yeah. So where's the part where he finally says the line? And Caleb was like, what line? I'm like, yeah, oh, Luke, I am your father. And he's like, that's not to the next movie. And I'm like, what? But what I do see at the end of this movie was that they finally destroyed the Death Star, using the weakness that was found in the Death Star plans, because they get the entire rebel fleet in the whole mission, and it looks so cool how they did it, and I was genuinely impressed on how they did it. I mean, again, despite the modern day glow ups, freaking you again, this is 1977, and and how they conducted the entire fight scene, that was pretty damn cool. Speaking of fight scenes, again, after seeing all the epic fight scenes, from the prequel trilogy, seeing how Obi-Wan and Anakin fought on Mustafar, and then freaking if I was to watch, the ending scene where Darth Vader appeared in Rogue One before this one, I especially would have been. Well, I was still disappointed in the fights. The fight scene Episode 4 had, between both Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. Because here's the thing, Darth Vader, he was made out to be this freaking really powerful guy. It's almost like he's just fully agile. He can destroy you in seconds. But then their fight on the freaking. The fight that they finally have, and freaking Darth Vader's like, I forgot what he says, but he says something like, "Oh, now I am the master," and then Obi-Wan's like, "Strike me down, and I'll become more powerful than you'll ever imagine." They're after a few swings, after a couple seconds, freaking boom. Darth Vader, one weak strike, and then Obi-Wan just he disintegrates into dust, leaving nothing but his clothes, and then freaking uses his Force Ghost powers to talk to Luke throughout the rest of the movie. And as a matter of fact, throughout the rest of the freaking trilogy, too bad he never makes an appearance in the new trilogy, but more on that later. So then you got. Yeah, so then they finally destroyed the Death Star. They have a reunion. Hooray! Now we're going on to the next movie, Empire Strikes Back. Now, for a lot of people, this is their favorite movie, and I can definitely see why. Even amongst the entire nonology, of all 9 movies, freaking Empire Strikes Back is just very different in a lot of ways. and as a matter of fact, Empire Strikes Back is one of the very, very few, Star Wars movies that doesn't have anything to do with a Death Star in any which way. Like, for real. Like, really, when I'm thinking about it, episode, The Last Jedi, The Rise of Skywalker, The Empire Strikes Back, and I think The Phantom Menace. No. It's really okay because really it's Empire Strikes Back, Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker that have absolutely nothing to do with the Death Star. Okay, scratch that. The Death Star made a cameo, and it made a cameo in freaking Rise of Skywalker. So if I'm gonna say that, Phantom Menace, include that in there. Or and Attack of the Clones. Okay, well maybe it's not part of the few, but if you notice, freaking episode 1, this is Death Star, and they brought it back in episode 3, as if they had no other original idea. And then episode I'm talking about episode 4, then episode 6, and then episode 7. They made another Death Star. I mean, it's called Star Killer Base, but again, it's just another Death Star. It's just bigger, and God, and then and throughout the prequel trilogy, at the end of Revenge of the Sith, they're building the Death Star, and I think in the first 2 movies, they were mentioning plans on building a giant super weapon. Hell, and one of them they even show some guy was holding a hologram, was showing what this weapon will look like, and as you would guess, it's the freaking Death Star. I mean, I know the Death Star was a big deal. I mean, it's a real big deal. It's a freaking weapon space station that can destroy entire planets. I get it, but really, but with the other future Star Wars movies, especially for Episode 6, you couldn't think of any other original idea other than just another Death Star. Oh man. But anyways, back to episode 5, man. So I mean, that was pretty damn cool, freaking, especially when they met Lando Calrissian on I forgot what that planet was, but it's that cloud planet, freaking, because it's a giant gas planet. But man, when they found that Sky City, they're on there, freaking Darth Vader comes in and surprises them, freaking Yes, it surprises them. Freaking, captures all of them. This was all freaking set up by what's his name, Lando Calrissian. And then you see Boba Fett. He looks pretty cool, but literally, I don't see what he really does. I mean, hell, I think Jango Fett did a little more than freaking what Boba Fett did. But anyways, freaking Darth Vader, he catches these guys. Freaking, he gets Han Solo, dips him in that freaking I forgot what it's called, the carbonite. Dips him in the carbonite, and he's frozen solid into a giant brick. Oh my God! Now I remember seeing that reference, but it was just even cooler seeing it in the movie. And then you got freaking Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader fighting. And it's a real good fight this time. I mean, Darth Vader's still fighting like an old man, but still, it still looked pretty damn cool. And then Darth Vader chops off, Luke's hand. He drops his lightsaber, his blue lightsaber. He drops it all the way down to the bottom of wherever the hell they were. And then, he's like, Obi-Wan never told you about your father. And Luke was like, oh, he told me enough. He told me you killed him. No, I am your father. No, that can't be true. That's impossible. Assert your feelings. You know it to be true. No! God, I was waiting all freaking, again, we were doing a whole movie marathon. Freaking, so I was waiting all night. And this actually bled into the morning. So it bled into the morning. It was one of the few times I actually pulled an all-nighter back in high school. But man, I was waiting all freaking night to finally freaking see this line, to see this scene, to hear that line. Oh my God! And it felt so satisfying. And then the rest of the movie was pretty damn exciting too. But then we move on to the 6th movie. That was a pretty good burp. Oh, I tasted the chips I ate earlier. Actually, I'm gonna take a little sidetrack here. So the chips I ate earlier before this podcast was Ruffles, lime, and jalapeno. My God, let me tell you what. Whoever thought that was a good idea needs to get a medal, because that is a good idea. Freaking lime and jalapeno. I mean, it's not like Hot Cheetos Limon where it's like, the red chili powder stuff and lime. No, it's just simply jalapeno and lime. It tastes really good. It tastes really good, damn good together. Freaking, it tastes so good. I mean, I ain't sponsored by Ruffles, jalapeno lime chips or anything like that. I'm just saying, they're so damn good, and I'm so glad I retasted them in that bird. But anyways, back to Star Wars. So episode 6, my God, like of all the Star Wars movies, definitely like my favorite would have to be the beginning of episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Because, freaking Luke, Leia, freaking Chewie, R2-D2, C-3PO, and then the Create Calrissian. Man, they all had this elaborate, this very fun and elaborate plan. They get Han back from, freaking Jabba the Hutt, because Jabba the Hutt, he freaking kept the carbonated Han Solo as kind of like, freaking token, he's over here in his little crib, he's got the weird, he's got the weird dancing aliens, thing going on, he's just having a party, he's having a good time, but then freaking. But then, like freaking, like Luke and the gang, they come all in, and trying to save him. Luke gets trapped in a cage, and he faces some freaking monsters and stuff. My God, like again, and really, when in retrospect, after you watch it, after you realize how where everything was, it was kind of a useless plan, but it just looks so cool the way it played out. It's definitely like my favorite beginning of any Star Wars movie. And it was just really fun to watch. And then when they finally, when they finally get Han back, and they're all trying to escape. Jabba the Hutt sends Boba Fett after them, and then freaking, and then Luke, what's his name? R2-D2 shoots out Luke Skywalker's freaking sword. He catches it using the Force, I assume, and freaking enlightens it. And it's freaking green. I love green, and man, the green lightsaber just looked freaking epic as hell. So he had, so he ignited that. He started fighting all these dudes. Like, it looks so freaking awesome. My God, like for the longest time, Return of the Jedi was actually my favorite movie because of just how awesome that beginning alone was. That beginning alone made me, made that movie my favorite. But then I realized Revenge of the Sith is much cooler throughout the entire movie. But anyways, shoot, my mouse keeps on dying. My computer mouse, not my mouse. I don't have a mouse, but you know what I mean. But anyways, so they meet on the, so like later in the movie they go onto the forest moon of Endor. That's where the little teddy bear guys come in. The freaking primitive teddy bear guys. They freaking take down the stormtroopers. and the stormtroopers, they have these freaking cool bike things. They got the AT-ATs. I forgot to mention that about freaking what is that? Empire Strikes Back. Oh man, the first time seeing the AT-ATs, freaking this giant freaking dog-looking things is walking, shooting lasers on the planet of Hoth. Now that was pretty damn cool. I should tell you that. But the way, and the way they freaking took them down by taking their, getting a giant rope and just tying their legs around. That was smart, but then it's also just like a big design flaw on Darth Vader's part, or Palpatine, whoever designed them, and a big design flaw on their part. But anyways, back to the next movie, Return of the Jedi. Man, so then they released kind of like a sequel to the AT-ATs, and they have these. I think they're simply called walkers. So they're smaller. They only have 2 legs, but they still shoot the laser stuff, and they're still pretty damn big and intimidating. But then seeing these high tech stormtroopers that can't aim for worth of crap. They get taken down by freaking primitive Ewoks, and it was very fun. It was very fun to watch. And then you have them worshiping C-3PO like a god because he just simply looks like something they worship, and that was a pretty funny bit too. And then they find out that Luke and Leia were our brother and sister. I mean, we already found that out, in the prequel trilogy, but it became revealed to them, the characters, in that movie. And I forgot some from the last movie too. Freaking Yoda, when Luke goes to freaking Dagobah, he meets up with Yoda. Freaking Yoda, becomes his trainer. And let me tell you something about Yoda. Very confusing. Again, so this dude in a couple of movies ago was jumping around doing all these flips, freaking fighting with style as if he was just a young man. Then in this movie, he barely he doesn't move like that at all. You can't even indicate that he did any of that. Wow, he just acts a lot. He acts a lot like more childish, in the original trilogy. And I'm like, this can't be the same guy. This can't be the same Yoda, but it is. But hey, you know what? I thought, this is I like this fun Yoda. He's funny, he's quirky, and plus, it's not CGI, he's a puppet, and I thought that looked pretty damn cool. But damn, but in freaking Return of the Jedi, after all the training that freaking he's done with Luke, he finally dies. I'm like, that's so heartening. He literally just started training with this dude, and freaking, we just met this dude, and he already dies in the next movie. Well, then again, that wouldn't. But then again, we had freaking what's his name, Snoke, Emperor Snoke. He was introduced in one movie and he was killed in the next, kind of like Yoda. But except at least Yoda came back in the freaking Yoda came back 2 movies later as a Force Ghost. Actually, no, he came back later on in that movie as a Force Ghost too. But he definitely made a cool appearance in episode 8. But I'll talk about that one, in the next segment here. But damn, freaking, Return of the Jedi, and it's that's the final battle scene, on Endor. That was pretty damn fun to look at too. And then you got, at the same time, on the second Death Star that they're still under construction of. Man, you have Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker going at it again, but this time Luke has got a lot more experience in the Force, and in his fighting style and stuff. And then Darth Vader is here, to settle things once and for all. And then you got Palpatine, really trying to, lure Luke into the dark side like he did with Anakin. And you know what? Anakin was not having it. He is much stronger willed than his father was, for sure. Because he wasn't tempted by the dark side. Hell no, he fought against it with full power. I'm like, damn, that's how you be. That's how you be. Become a Jedi Master. That's how you really freaking do it. But then technically Luke was never actually a Jedi Master because, again, there was no Jedi Council to give him the rank. But that's miscellaneous stuff. Let's just call him a Jedi Master just because, right? And then freaking, so then they go on fighting. Freaking, Darth Vader is he's threatening to get to Leia too, and try to turn her around and stuff. And Luke is like, oh hell no, I'm not letting you do that to my sister either. So they're really going at it. Luke is just using his anger. He's freaking going at freaking Darth Vader. You can tell this dude almost straight up killed his father. But then he realized, no, that's not the Jedi way. No, I should continue fighting him because he's evil. But I'm not gonna use my rage and try to kill him. So this pisses off what's his name? This pisses off Palpatine, or Darth Sidious as he's called in the movie. And so he freaking uses his lightning. Freaking he just keeps on shooting him. Keeps on electrocuting him. He's really trying to kill him now. But then Darth Vader, he has an epiphany. He realizes of the monsters he's become. And on all this fighting, all this stuff that is going on, freaking everything that he experienced, back in the prequel trilogy, the anger, the hate, all the damages he's done. Just because he's been lured to the freaking dark side, he sees the error of his ways, and he changes, and in the version I watched, freaking when Darth Vader, when he pushed Darth Darth Sidious into the what you call it, to the core of the Death Star, he was like, "No!" It's very cheesy. He was like, "No!" He freaking pushes Darth Sidious, and man, Darth Sidious just falls down to his death, or seemingly his death. It wasn't until episode 9 until we realized he wasn't dead, but. But then, like, he falls into his, from what I saw, from what I thought, man, he was falling to his death. Freaking the entire Death Star explodes. But Luke was willing to take freaking Darth Vader with him, but Darth Vader, he was just in a very bad, he was in a very bad condition. He couldn't barely move. Took off his helmet, and you could see the ugliness that consumed him. He changed the air of his ways. He had a change of heart. He decided he didn't want to be a Sith no more. He wanted to turn back to the Jedi ways. So in his last final moments, he was redeemed, and very evidently, at the very end, when they're having, again, when Luke and the gang, when they're having that party on Endor, and all the Ewoks are partying with them. Oh, it's a big old forest party. And then you see Obi-Wan, you see freaking Yoda, and and then you see Anakin Skywalker. Now, in the version I watched, Anakin Skywalker was Chris, whatever his name was. I don't think his name was Chris. Hayden Christensen. Yeah, it was him. It was that guy. The prequel guy. He was the Force Ghost. I mean, that looks so damn cool, man. I was like, oh, this is a great conclusion. I'm also quite surprised I didn't see Qui-Gon or anything like that. But actually, well, I'm not so surprised. But anyways, let's move forward here. All right, so here we go, back at it again. So we just talked about freaking, the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, and so now let's go on to the aftermath. So after watching all those, I was like, man, Caleb, I don't see why I hadn't gone to this sooner. This is actually pretty damn good. Because again, after pulling up an all-nighter, we finally watched the damn movies. I was hooked, and I'm like, finally, I'm ready for episode 7. And when later that year came, we watched episode 7. It was a really good experience, man. Like, oh, I gotta drink some more water. Oh god. Don't worry, there's no real dead space because I have music playing in the background. But anyways, so I've seen episode 7. I really did like it. I really did establish new characters, establish a new, freaking time in the timeline. But it was so much like episode 4. Like, especially after me just coming out of freaking watching the original trilogy, just watching episode 4, then seeing this, I'm like, this is way too damn similar. Like, I get you're trying to reach to a new audience. But I'm pretty sure that not like a good majority of the viewers are either going to be long-time watchers of the franchise, or even if they're new to Star Wars, they're probably they probably have watched all the movies, kind of like how I did, but prior to watching this one. So it was just, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't disappointed or anything. I liked it, but it was just way too damn similar to part 4, in more of the ways than one. I mean, freaking main character comes from a desert planet, has to stop evil guy in a cool looking mask, from using his mega weapon, from destroying a planet, and his weapon is the size of a planet, it shoots a big laser. Yeah, whoop-de-doo, where haven't I seen this before? My god. But anyways, okay, so definitely in comparison to the other two trilogies, the sequel trilogy, it has its moments. It's really, I like them. I really did think they rock. I personally really do like them. But but I definitely like the other two trilogies a lot more. Again, not saying that new ones are bad. Not saying that I think they suck. I really like them. It's in fact the opposite. I don't think they suck. But definitely, I think the first two trilogies were definitely a lot more well done, and they were more well taken care of than than the new trilogy did. And I think if they reboot Star Wars, or at least make it to where it takes place in a different galaxy, far, far away, or something like that, they put the same kind of care and effort as they did to the first 6 movies, then yeah, like we probably have another freaking trilogy that everybody wouldn't be freaking hating on all the time. And that's what I don't like. Freaking everyone's always hating on the movies. Sometimes it's just because they're owned by Disney bad, or something like that, or because they're like, I hate female protagonists, she's just a Mary Sue and stuff. I get it, but just enjoy the damn movie for what it is. Everything doesn't have to be political here. With movies and stuff, everything doesn't have to have an agenda. Just watch the story. It's a movie. Just watch it for the story. Sure, they put some SJW stuff in there. Why? Freaking, it's almost a normal part of freaking popular movies these days. Again, it's Disney. They're bound to put some SJW things in the freaking movies, because again, first of all, they're modern movies. Second of all, it's freaking Disney. That's kind of what you have to expect with with these damn films. But anyways, I like them. I don't really have much to complain about them. Although I really didn't like how they freaking they killed off, they kind of really hyped up Snoke, saying that, so freaking we already had Palpatine and Darth Vader, so now we have this new guy we got to worry about. Kills him off in the second movie, and then freaking in the third movie, Snoke turns out he's just a freaking clone of one of many, and freaking Darth Sidious, freaking Palpatine. He was the guy that that was behind everything. You guys really. First of all, you couldn't come up with an original idea when it comes to the Death Star, but the Death Star itself is an original idea, but then. You couldn't get away from the Death Star. You had to rebuild it, and then you had to turn it into a whole planet and call it Starkiller Base. Now you can't even freaking come up with a new villain. You had Snoke. There's so much stuff you could have done with Snoke, but no, you decided, we're gonna bring back Palpatine. We're bringing back all the old characters, yeah, including Palpatine. Yay, man! It would have been cooler if they somehow would have brought back Mace Windu, but what do I know? But I'm just a fan. But anyway, but damn, I just wasn't expecting, okay, sure, I wasn't expecting for Palpatine to be, to come back, but it's not. But neither did I really want him to come back. It was cool that he did, but at the same time, again, you could have had oh my god, even if they did exactly what they did and had a new villain, that would have been much better. Because then because at least we would have had a new villain, the entire time running things. Not just, freaking BS happened and now we realize that freaking Palpatine's alive. He's been pulling the strings all this time. Oh no, now we gotta kill him. Now we gotta save the day. God. I really didn't like that. Again, I still enjoyed the movie. That was just a little nitpick of mine. And I was really thrilled to see that for the first time in movie canon. Because, I'm a Star Wars fan, but I'm not a diehard fan and read all the freaking comics and watch all the shows and stuff like that. But for the first time ever in movie canon, so I'm talking about movies here, we see the yellow lightsaber. Indicating that, okay, so, she's not a Sith, but she doesn't and she's definitely a Jedi. But, but she kills like a Sith. So she's somehow she's somewhere in the middle. They give her a freaking yellow lightsaber. And that was pretty damn cool. If only she would have had it for longer and they would have showed it off more in the movie. But hey, that was pretty damn cool. And seeing how Rey was a freaking Palpatine this entire time. Okay, yeah, I definitely wasn't expecting that. I was really more expecting her to be a Skywalker. Especially with the whole title being Rise of Skywalker, and with her being the main character throughout the entire last trilogy. Yeah, you would think she's a Skywalker, but no, she's a Palpatine. What, man? And that little kiss that she and what was his name, Kylo had at the end there, man. What, man? They had a thing for each other this all the time, man. The whole Raylo thing. Oh god, it seemed like everything was just kind of rushed. Nothing was actually built up. You know what I mean? They could, like, it's like they tried building up, but they had to rely like a lot on old material to try to like I mean, they relied a lot on old material to try to like really build this trilogy, but it just feels like it's just everything was rushed and half-assed. Like, I mean, again, episode 7, it's pretty much just almost a copy of episode 4. Then you have freaking Last Jedi. A lot of elements were taken from Empire Strikes Back. Again, one of the biggest ones, AT-ATs, and then you got an entire white planet. But it was cool that they had the red visuals in there too, and they had the whole casino thing, which everybody didn't like, which I liked. I mean, it was like a little part of Indiana Jones inside of Star Wars. Come on, people. Come on, I can't be the only person that actually likes the damn casino scene, right? Right? And then you have a freaking Rise of Skywalker, and again, it takes like the one big element from Return of the Jedi, and that's Palpatine. Palpatine is here. And we gotta have one last battle with him. But this time they actually kill him for good, or maybe they didn't, because probably they might do some more BS, and if they make a new freaking branch of Star Wars, and they're like, oh well, Palpatine came back. You just can't kill him. Man, that would totally suck, and I'd be totally mad at them for doing that. But anyways, not saying I didn't like them, not saying I think they're bad. I'm just saying that that like definitely a lot more care and thought what it could have been put into them. It's like they saw the success of Star Wars, and they're like, you know what, we can recreate all this. This entire thing that took like over 40 years. Around like somewhere around like 40 years to do. No, we're gonna try to do in freaking like 5 or 6. Nah, fam, no. I mean, probably if they would have went with George Lucas's original script, yeah, like maybe it definitely would have, because not only would have had the actual backing from the previous 2 trilogies, but it like probably whatever the story was, it probably would have definitely not only connected a lot more, but it probably just would have like just done a lot better. But anyways, I like what we got, and I'm just saying they could have been a lot better. And so let's get on to the Star Wars stories. Now, for some reason, nobody liked freaking Solo. I loved Solo. I mean, not just because Han Solo is my favorite Star Wars character, but damn, I really liked the movie. Just like it's Han Solo's backstory, this is Han Solo's backstory of how he met Chewie, of how it became the Han Solo. And it was kind of disappointing seeing how like the reason why his last name was Solo is because when he was signing up to be a freaking Imperial pilot, the guy was asking for his last name, and he was like, I don't have a last name. Or he was trying to look around, because again, he wasn't a part of a team, he wasn't part of a pack, he didn't have any family, so he was like, I'm by myself, so I'm Solo. And I'm like, okay, Han Solo. I mean, okay, kind of a lame way how he got his name, but because the name itself sounds cool, but whatever. I mean, it makes sense though. At least it makes sense. Man, and just seeing, and just seeing the adventures he has, and then when Chewie, comes along, and then freaking like the cameo, like a real big cameo, freaking Darth Maul, man. Darth Maul appears at the end, and he appears at the end as a hologram. Seeing that he was working with the main enemy, in Solo, the entire time. And it teases a possible freaking Darth Maul Solo film, and unfortunately we hadn't gotten that at all. I don't think they even started production. I don't even know if they're still even thinking about making it anymore. But man, these damn fans, these damn toxic fans, it's because of them that we're probably not gonna get that freaking Darth Maul movie. Man, I really wanted it, and you guys screwed it up because you guys are just big babies, and you're like, oh man, this is Disney. I want Fox to make the movies again. Well, big whoop, freaking Disney owns Fox now. Freaking pull up your damn diaper and start watching. Either just don't watch them, or just, I don't know, do something else. Watch anime. Freaking play games. Watch DC. Do whatever you want. Just if you're gonna cry about Star Wars, get away from it. That's all I gotta say. You're ruining. Like you're the guys that are ruining freaking Star Wars for us. For the rest of us that actually enjoy, what the franchise is, and we don't have little nitpicks. I mean, my God. Like if you like the comics better, stick with the comics. If you like the books better, stick with the books. I don't give a damn. Just stop ruining the movies just because it don't fit your damn views. Okay, that was my little soapbox for this episode. But anyways, freaking Rogue One. Now, when I saw that one, that was freaking damn cool because watching it, we actually got to see how they got the plans, to the Death Star, and we saw the sacrifices and all, and the characters that helped along the way to actually get information of Princess Leia. It's a pretty damn good movie, and definitely all I'm saying is, if you're doing a marathon, I definitely highly recommend watching Rogue One in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. Now, I mean, you don't have to watch it because it doesn't really. I mean, you don't have to watch it. It's kind of. I mean, it's really just like an extra part of the story. I mean, if you really want to see, how the rebels get the plans to the Death Star, and if you wanted to see, and if you wanted to see some cool action, hey, no problem in that. So I mean. No problem with that. Then I highly recommend the movie. But because also too, and the reason why I highly recommend the movie is because it's basically Rogue One. Like I said earlier, it's just a big opener. It's a big opener for episode 4, because literally the time gap between the ending of Rogue One and the beginning of episode 4, it's by a minute, or a few seconds to a minute, literally. Damn, at the very last few seconds of the movie, here's what happened at the end of the movie. So finally, after all the main characters die, because other than the movie itself, they have no significant role in the Star Wars universe. Literally, these characters were just made to do one thing and then die. But when they finally send the plans to Princess Leia, to the Rebel base, so it's pretty damn cool of how they did this. Because watching this movie again, I just came out of watching all the Star Wars, all 6 or 7 Star Wars movies, and so I'm like, okay, this takes place in between Revenge of the Sith and Episode 4. So I'm getting pretty pumped up, and I've seen them complete the Death Star, testing it out, and man, definitely when they tested out the Death Star. Man, I already knew it's capable of destroying entire planets, but when they had the laser not on full blast, but just they just had the laser on just minimal power, and the damage the big laser did just on minimal power. Now that was a real big that really made me put me into a new perspective of how really powerful the damn laser is. And just how it just came, you just see this giant green laser come from the sky, and you actually get the perspective of how it looks whenever whenever you freaking the Death Star shoots at the planet. You get a perspective of how it looks, and it's the big impact it makes, and it looks so damn cool. And I'm like, wow. So, I mean, just imagine if, Episode 4 was made in modern time, and they just showed it destroying the entire planet. They would have showed it coming into the planet, destroying the ground, entering the core, and just exploding, just incinerating the entire planet. That would have been so cool to see in, modern graphics and stuff like that. Oh, but, man, damn, Rogue One, it definitely opens up your imagination when it comes to little things like that. But anyways, what I was talking about, the ending. So they finally get the plans. Oh God, what the heck? Okay, so they finally get the plans, to the rebels, and then so there's one rebel soldier. He's General Leia. We got the plans. The actress playing Princess Leia, oh my God, she turns around. She looks almost exactly like freaking Carrie Fisher. Now I remember when I first saw that, my jaw dropped. My jaw doesn't it never drops for anything, but when I saw that, my jaw freaking dropped. I'm like, huh, wow, that is amazing. Because she hadn't looked that way since the freaking 1980s, and wow, they freaking de-aged her so much. But then I come to find out that like of how they actually did it. Man, they actually freaking they got a younger actress who looks similar to her, and then they did some CGI on her face and to make her look like young Leia, at least the way she did back in 1977, and that was pretty damn pretty damn dope. Man, I was appalled. I was really appalled, man. And then they did the same for General Tolkien. Freaking, because the actual actor that played him, died, but they got one of his family members who looked similar to him, and they gave him the same treatment they did Leia, and wow, like, I mean, I couldn't tell it was CGI. I couldn't tell, but everybody else was like, ew, CGI, blah. Oh, prequel trilogy bad, even though we like the meme, blah. But anyways, God, that was a fun ride. Again, I highly recommend watching it. If you're watching a marathon, man, it is just so damn cool, dude. So that's my experience with the Star Wars movies. So freaking Caleb, my boy Caleb got me into them. Freaking, we did the original 6 movie marathon. Started watching the movies in theaters, and actually, I noticed that every time we saw any of the new ones, or at least the new main timelines movies, episode 7, 8, and 9. Caleb was always there. Like I think Caleb and my boy Leslie. We all three were watching the first one, and then the same thing with the second. He saw 7, 8, and 9. Man, that looked too damn cool. Man, it was too damn cool. Like I didn't really notice before, but yeah, with every single new trilogy movie that came out, we were all together. Like damn, like it was pretty damn cool. So it's like. Especially with my boy Caleb, it's like we watched all these movies together. Like it's a real freaking experience, dude. Man, yeah, I'm so glad that he introduced me to the movies, because I went like. I was such a big fan of the movies, and for the longest time, especially for the during my junior year, like Star Wars, like it just had a real big influence on me. Especially with me, really getting into my Christian faith and all that at the time, man, I started making a lot of comparisons to Star Wars and all that. I started saying, oh, the Lord is my force, saying stuff like that, man. It was just fun times, man. It was just fun times. Kind of like how, these days, anime is the new big thing for me. At that, back in the day, Star Wars was the new big thing for me, and God, that was a fun ride. That was a fun trip, man. Shoot. And but shoot, well, since I'm off today and it is May the 4th, hell, I probably won't spend freaking what is it, 9 movies? I probably won't spend the next 18 hours doing nothing but watching all the Star Wars movies, or maybe I will, but we'll have to see. I probably won't be doing that, but I will definitely be watching my favorites. Definitely, you best believe I'm watching Revenge of the Sith today, and I'm gonna be watching. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna watch the last of everything: Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker. Man, and that's the thing. I love the first. The last. I love the lasts. Because that's the build up. To what the entire trilogy was building up to. And then for Rise of Skywalker, if you don't see it as what the entire saga was building up to, then it makes it less disappointing to watch. But if you're just seeing what the entire trilogy was building up to, okay, it's still kind of disappointing, but at least it's not as disappointing. Again, not saying they're bad movies. I'm just saying they really could have done them better. Personally, I think if they had J.J. Abrams on there the whole time, instead of changing out freaking directors midway through, and if they kept the original script and they didn't do so many rewrites and stuff like that, it probably would have been a lot. It probably had would have had a lot more care and thought put into it. But we got what we got, and I appreciate it. Okay, because again, when I look at it, it ain't that bad. It's it's in the end. At the end of the day, it's a movie that still takes me to a galaxy far, far away, and that is what is important. And I love it for that. Yes, hell yeah. All right, so so here we go at the very end here. So, anyways, I'm doing a double podcast tonight because I miscalculated the amount of days and episodes I had till Tuesday, because Tuesday, it's that's when episode 13 is supposed to drop. That's when I do my mid-season special with Desmond. And the problem was that I miscalculated. So I was like, oh, I freaking, oh, I can skip Saturday, have to really make a podcast, and I'll still be good. Then I realized, oh shoot, I should have made one on Saturday, because oh damn, now I gotta do a double. And thankfully, since it's Star Wars Day, I can go ahead and do a double. So then we can have fun with that. And my next Star Wars podcast, again, which is getting dropped again on the same day as I dropped this one. So I'm going to be doing a couple of interviews. I'm going to be interviewing Stormtrooper and Obi-Wan. So let's go. I'm so excited. And, so I forgot to say my outro real quick. I don't know if anyone actually stays to listen to my outros, but whatever. I'm going to say it anyways. Thank you for making it this far into the podcast. There's more to come. I'm trying to post daily, but whatever. I'm always bringing you the content, and I'm always doing just giving you the goods, man. I'm always here, providing my topics, providing my everything, and whatever. I'm just too excited for Star Wars right now. I can't speak. Anyways, this is your boy. I'll see y'all go on the podcast known as 3M Thoughts. Have you a good one. May the 4th be with you.